Eldon, indeed, the president of the ANC is done delivering the ANC January 8 statement, largely focusing on the unity of the African National Congress, going back to that document, the Freedom Charter, which they commemorate 65 years since its adoption in Kliptown, saying that they are going to be prioritizing what the content of the Freedom Charter document, that the people shall share in the country's mineral wealth, and going into the issues of land expropriation without compensation and equal pay for everybody in South Africa, irrespective of their racial demographic and their gender. I'm going to bring in one of the ANC members who is here and did listen to the president's speech. He's going to introduce himself first, from which region, which branch he's from, and what did he take out of the speech of the ANC president and the NEC.
Thank you. I'm Chami Donald Radebe from the Free State Thabo Mofokeng region. My branch, I'm from France Mutwening branch. I'm the chairperson of the branch.
What did you take out of the NEC speech delivered by the president today?
What was important is that the president has acknowledged that we are in problem with Eskom, and also the resignation of Jabu Mabuza, that also Eskom cannot be privatized. It was very important. And that also, as the Freedom Charter is saying, the land will be shared among the people of South Africa. I've took that, and also the alliance in support of the unity of the ANC, Comrade Blade and Comrade Lucy, the president of COSATU. And also in terms of the minimum wage, they have spoken about it. We are very happy. The speech was detailed, and as members of the ANC, we are very happy with this January 8th statement.
It says the president that they will be strengthening local government. You are from the Free State. If you look at Mangaung today, Mangaung is filthy. It's dirty. There are no services. How are you going to strengthen, and particularly that metro, which has been downgraded as well? How are you going to strengthen that particular municipality? It's also been taken under administration.
Yeah, remember, in the speech, the president has acknowledged the mistake and the problems that are happening. Also, he has said that the plans will be the same in all the districts, and the funding will be equal to accelerate service delivery to the people. Because when you check the plans, and the budget is not the same, but now the budget is going to be the same. The president has made sure that at least the plans must be the same in all metros and all the districts.
Let's bring in another ANC member and supporter who was here. So what did you take out of this particular speech, and where are you from, and what's your name?
Good afternoon to the African National Congress. I'm so happy to be interviewed here today. My name is Thabiso Mgwena, from Walden in the Free State. From our Tambo branch. What interests me today is that the president did talk about the Eskom. We all know that South Africa today is having problems with the energy. So I'm very hopeful, and I'm happy today to say that the president did indicate that some changes will be made to make sure that people of South Africa get energy on time and efficiently so.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, Eldrin, that are some of the ANC members and supporters who have spoken to. They are raising the issues, the political issues within their party, the issue of the ideological contest of whether there should be privatization or no privatization. You heard the ANC president saying that to those who think that Eskom will be privatized, you've heard the likes of Machala Koko, the former CEO of Eskom and the former head of engineering, saying that there are steps in order to privatize Eskom, and they have raised issues within the governing party, and particularly with energy generation. You'd remember the Deputy President David Mabuza coming out and saying the president was misled on the issue of Eskom. They are also speaking about issues of unity within the African National Congress, and speaking about the societal issue of load shedding and how South Africans are being affected by this what may say economic doldrums that has an impact of affecting our economy in the form of the performance of Eskom and the method of generation that Eskom is using. The president saying that old power stations must be maintained, and that the new power stations, Medupi and Kusile, they are having design problems and structural problems, and they must resolve those. What is rather interesting, Eldrin, the national chairperson of the ANC and Minister of Mineral Resources, Gwede Mantashe, has been speaking about the introduction of gas as another form of energy generation rather than what is being proposed, which is the independent power producers renewable energy. And it's rather interesting that the president is seemingly working and singing the same tune as the Minister of Mineral Resources, that would be Gwede Mantashe, as opposed to the Minister of Public Enterprises, who is seemingly for the independent power producers, which is renewable energy.
Well, we continue our coverage of the ANC's 108th anniversary celebration here at Tafel Lager Stadium here in Kimberley, and we're unpacking the statement that was delivered on behalf of the NEC by the President of the country and the President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa. And I was asking earlier on, Mzwandile, from what the President said in the statement, do you think that the statement was reassuring to the rank and file as well as South Africans who are concerned and stressing about Eskom's lack of capacity to ensure that the lights are kept on?
Well, on the issue of Eskom, I think the President, Aldrin, is very aware that there is this perception that they are working to privatize it. And you have heard the calls from a number of quarters to say, should you try to do that, we will be on the street. So the fact that he said we are committed to rebuilding Eskom and Eskom will not be privatized, basically was somehow a response to those people who are saying all these problems that are being experienced at Eskom are being intentionally engineered so that private investors will come in to say, you guys are failing, can we come and help out? So I read it to mean that, to say, so we will get in there, correct whatever is wrong. But as I'm saying, Aldrin, I'm still insisting. So we will have to see in the new reconfigured board that they will announce if really they are serious about what they want to do.
Just quickly, Prof, very important to Eskom's sustainability is what the President also mentioned, and this was first mooted at an NEC meeting, that there must be a culture of paying. People must pay for their water, people must pay for their electricity as well. And this has now found expression in the ANC's official January 8th statement. Do you believe that it will trickle down to the various structures of the party around making sure that even at a local government level, that people pay?
Yeah, but it's an issue of trust. If you don't trust any individual representative, public representative, and if you don't trust the institutions, issues of payment will always be at the forefront, or the things that the people use against the government of the day. But I think, yes, the President should be commended for speaking about that, because he's owning up to say it's a serious problem, especially if you look at areas like Soweto.
Yeah.
The non-payment of municipal services is actually crippling our local government, and I think it's about time that South Africans also come to the party by paying for basic services.
Mzwai, the President also touching on the issue around land expropriation without compensation, that resolution that the ANC took at its 52nd National Conference that took place in Nasrec. And again, it's finding expression in this document. It found expression in the document last year as well. It found expression even at Cyril Ramaphosa's first inaugural January 8th speech. What do you think the message that the President is trying to send here?
Well, you know that this process must be finalized. It's about to be finalized. And already there are people who are saying, actually, the changes that are being made are very cosmetic. So, which means you guys are not serious about the resolution that we took at Nasrec. So I think what he's trying to say here is that whatever was agreed at Nasrec will be followed through. Because, I mean, if you look at the process that is ongoing now, particularly the parliamentary process, so many people are saying when there was that vote where a number of people appear to be opposed to the amending of the constitution. So if that were to pass, it would mean the ANC resolution to get this thing done would have failed. So as party president, as the custodian of the party policy, he needs to come out very clearly and say, we will do this, we will do it as agreed at the National Congress. Because failure to do that may actually give the ammunition to those opposed to him. Already we know that the bus, not everyone is moving in the same bus. So if you then give ammunition to your detractors, so it will be easy for them to say, here is the person we appointed to lead us. But he's not able to do that. So is he still the right person? And 2022 is not far. And the NGC to review the work is in 6 months' time, actually 5.
Prof, the president has called it before the original sin, and this is land dispossession. And listening to what the president mentioned now in the January 8th statements, do you at all think it was a missed opportunity for the ANC to encourage every South African to go and comment on what has already been gazetted in December?
Yes, one can say it's a missed opportunity, but what we should also understand, we're almost 1 year away from a local government elections and also almost a month away from the opening of the parliament. So maybe the president will get back to that. But I strongly believe this was an occasion where the president should have mentioned that. But as I've indicated, South Africans should also take the responsibility to create businesses to assist the government. Because if you look at the economy also, puts a lot of pressure on the African National Congress government. But yes, definitely a missed opportunity, as you correctly stated.
And then on an international tone, the president mentioning the general of Iran, Soleimani, who was killed, who the ANC in their statement said it was an assassination. It sounded a bit subdued, the way the president addressed it. But probably it is because it is the president who is also the president of the country. So in the message that he sends, it must be a bit more measured.
Yeah, I think the president should have been much more cautious because remember, there's also serious allegations that the Iranian government shot down an aeroplane, and yet the president did not come out and speak about that. It doesn't matter. The moment if there's one life that is lost, I don't think this will buy the African National Congress any favors. But yes, sometimes moments like that, people get carried away. But I think the president should have been more cautious when he made that statement.
Your take on that statement by the president in the ANC's January 8th statement, and I think we can forgive the president. You know, I see the Prof is now speaking about, for instance, the aircraft that was shot down, and now it turns out that it was actually Iran that shot down the plane. And he mentioned that the president didn't mention this in the statement. But then, of course, the NEC meeting took place on Monday, and we know that this is a reflection of that NEC statement that the president is reading. But just the confidence that the president had to just quickly mention on this issue that took place.
Well, especially, Aldrin, because the president yesterday or the day before yesterday, he had a telephonic discussion with Rouhani, president of Iran.
Unfortunately, we need to quickly just say goodbye to our SABC2 viewers, but our analysis will continue on the SABC News channel, which is on 404 on the DSTV bouquet.